Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I got my beautiful bride by my side, and we're ready for another great weekend. And I have a great weekend program in store. We're going to start with some fun stuff, and then we're going to get to a great interview with Craig Johnson from the Champions Club. He's got a new book called Champion. And we're going to chat with him about that. And then we'll learn what the Champion Club is. But I'm excited to chat with him. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And this is a nice interview that I lined up because I was really interested in this. So hopefully everybody else will be as well. Otherwise, it's only 5 minutes. Either way, it's going to be a good thing. Coming up later in the program. Now we got a quote for today. On the weekends, we do two quotes, the Saturday and the Sunday. Jay-Z says, for the Saturday quote, "I love what I do. And when you love what you do, you want to be the best at it." And then the Sunday quote is from H.G. Wells. "The crisis of today is the joke of tomorrow." So true. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday is April the 28th, and Saturday is National Kiss of Hope Day. It is National Blueberry Pie Day, National Brave Hearts Day, National Great Poetry Day. National Great Poetry Reading Day. Workers' Memorial Day, National Superhero Day, National Rebuilding Day, National Sense of Smell Day, and National Pool Opening Day. Then Sunday is the 29th. Sunday the 29th, National Peace Rose Day, National Shrimp Scampi Day, National Zipper Day, and National Pet Parents Day. All of that happening this weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. But first, according to the Washington Post, a woman claims that R&B performer R. Kelly gave her an STD and loaded her up on a bunch of drugs and alcohol when she was just 19.
Well, there you go.
So that's not good. He's in a little bit of trouble lately. And his publicist and everybody, they're all like ditching him. I don't know if I kept that story, but I had a story later in the show here. I don't remember. I might have deleted it. I've been weeding out all of the stuff.
I've noticed that.
I don't need. I was
getting rid of all sorts of things.
Do I save it? Do I keep it? No, I'm going to delete it. So I've been.
And this one here made the cut, huh?
This one did. Yeah. This is the best of the best.
Of the best.
Oh, just leave me alone. Don't you have something you should be doing right now? Oh, I guess you do. You're busting my chops. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. 29-year-old Michael Gonzales of Underhill, Vermont, was arrested on an outstanding warrant after mistaking a police cruiser for a pizza delivery car. He was expecting a pizza to be delivered. When he saw the vehicle approaching, he thought it was his driver. However, it was a marked police vehicle.
Oh, wow.
Investigating public complaints about suspicious activity, police arrested Gonzales on a warrant, careless and negligent operation as well. Police also said Gonzales possessed a misdemeanor amount of heroin and ecstasy at the time of his arrest. He was found. Police found a second resident inside the condo who also had an active arrest, William Russell. So he got arrested for petty larceny charges. So here's the thing. Next time if you're expecting a pizza, maybe you make sure it's the pizza guy instead of just running out into the street.
Doesn't the pizza guy bring it to your door?
Usually, apparently in his
You don't have
town.
to usually chase him down the street.
Yeah, you have to chase him down the street. And the pizza vehicles there apparently look just like cop cars. So. But that is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. The new Avengers movie, Affinity War, hit theaters on Friday night. Marvel Studios film is getting rave reviews. People are super excited, except for one person. Legendary sci-fi director James Cameron. He told reporters that he's a fan of the Avengers movies, but he fears that they have dominated too much of the genre as of late. From the guy who has, 4 or 5 Terminator movies and keeps doing sequels to things like, oh, they just have way too many of these. Way too many. I need to get back to work on another sequel. Speaking of way too many, 8 live-action Fast and Furious movies have been released in theaters since 2001. A spin-off and 2 more sequels will be coming out between 2019 and 2021. Netflix is also now working on a Fast and Furious animated show. Vin Diesel.
I have not seen a single one of those movies.
Vin Diesel will be the executive producer on that, by the way. I have only seen, I think, the first one. It was pretty
seen
fast.
any.
It was pretty furious. But I have not been back for more Fast and more Furious. This has been your Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day, courtesy of 49bydesign.com. And we do have links to all of these stories in our show notes blog on johnandheidishow.com. We mentioned during Big Screen, Little Screen, or no, it was actually before the Brain on Drugs, about R. Kelly.
Yeah.
I found the story here. I had not gotten rid of it like I thought I might have. His attorney, his assistant, and his publicist have all cut ties with him now, following several recent sexual misconduct allegations that have been raised against him. So it's like when all of a sudden you got all these problems happening and the people you surround yourself with say, yeah, we're going now. See you later. So it was his attorney, that's the guy that's supposed to defend you, his assistant, and his publicist. But he's made their jobs very difficult by doing things that are wrong.
I have a real problem with these allegations 20, 30 years after the fact,
Yeah.
because anybody can say anything about anyone and ruin their lives.
Yeah, and it's later
Now,
you find out that it wasn't true, then they
it's
don't
just not, it's
cover
not
that.
right. I mean, if there's an issue, you say something immediately.
Yeah.
You go in, you get tested so that you've got DNA proof,
Yeah.
you've got everything that you need. You don't wait 20 years and then destroy somebody's life. I have a problem
If
with
he
that.
did what they're saying he did, he's getting what he has coming. But like you said, sadly,
But-
there have been
but if-
many things where people will come out and say something, then they find out that wasn't even true.
Right.
So.
I have a problem with it. If it was an issue, you would have said something immediately. So
Next story, Heidi. Lindsay Lohan's mom is in the news.
could change the subject.
Yes, I'm changing the subject, kind of, sort of.
You don't disagree.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, let's move on, because otherwise I'm going to get to 2 stories that I have stuff stacking up here that I don't have a place for.
Okay.
I don't know why it's been doing that lately. It's because of Heidi. No, it's not. It's because of me. Lindsay's mom is in the news, Dinah Lohan. She lost her daughter's childhood home to a foreclosure. How sad is that? She failed to show up for a court hearing, and then they said, well, we're just foreclosing then. It's done. A study by the University of Montreal found that a senior citizen there can strengthen their brain by playing Super Mario Brothers video game for 1 hour per day.
Huh.
So they're saying that will strengthen your brain, and then you'll have this crazy, amazing desire to stomp on turtles and trying to think of other things from that game. Don't you jump onto
You
a flagpole
jump up and get mushrooms.
and you jump onto a flagpole and slide down? I don't know. It's been a long time. Maybe I need to play the game. Then my brain will be stronger. Adweek survey found that Fox News is the highest rated news channel last week, beating out MSNBC by about 700,000 votes. So they're saying that more people watching that. Funny that
I don't
they
watch any of them.
mention CNN in that story at all. A Delaware wife shot and killed a woman who was having an affair with her husband during an ambush that turned into a murder-suicide. Sad story all around. Don't do this stuff. I mean, don't cheat. That would have solved the whole problem. And then this lady came and killed the wife, or killed the person, and then killed herself. And I wonder where the husband is in all this. I've got a link to the story if you want to read it. I did not read the whole story.
He's probably somewhere missing an important body part.
Oh, I don't know. Residents of an upscale Colorado community. I said that word funny, didn't I? Colorado, not Colorado. Where did that come from? Residents of an upscale community out in the Denver area. They're upset with a nearby house that's been hosting wild sex parties, is what it's called in the story.
Sex parties?
Apparently.
What exactly is a sex party?
Hundreds of guests show up, and then apparently all inhibitions are thrown to the wind.
Well.
This is in a state where, again, drugs are legal and whatnot. So it's just this resident community here. They're all very upset about this house up the street, and I would be too. I wouldn't be super excited about that. And Audi, our final story here, has recalled 1.2 million vehicles worldwide because of an electronic coolant pump that is overheating and causing the cars to catch fire. So
yikes.
if you happen to be listening in an Audi,
you'll want to get that fixed.
It's recalled. So the good news is when they do a recall, that's all taken care of. Our son had a recall on his vehicle for like 2 years.
Never did it.
He never did. I was like, got to go do that. Oh, I can't afford to. I'm like, you can't afford to. It's free.
I don't
Go
have time.
in and fix it. Yeah, I don't have time. What do you mean you don't have time? I'm done now. Deep breath in, deep breath out. This has been your Scoop of the Day. It's courtesy of 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. More than 54 million Americans cope with special needs, according to the National Organization on Disability. And our guest that we're going to be visiting with today, Craig Johnson, he's the founder of a thing called Champions Club, and he's author of a new book, Champion. And we've got him on the line right now. Mr. Johnson, how are you, sir?
Doing great. How are you today?
Fantastic. Now, this is something that I know is near and dear to you. Why is this so near and dear to you?
Well, my son was diagnosed with autism when he was 2 years old. And so Champion is really talking about walking on this journey of how God took a miracle in his life and then really used it to help millions of people around the world.
And I absolutely love that perspective, because I know there are some people that when something like this happens, they get angry, but instead you're saying, what a blessing, and we can help others. So thank you so much for having the right outlook on this.
Well, we found out, even when we got the diagnosis, that and we didn't realize it until it went full circle, but, we just found out that even on our worst day, we could become someone else's best hope.
Yeah.
I always feel like that when you go through a difficult time, the best thing you can do is be good to someone else when you're going through that time, because it gives you a different perspective on what you're going through, and then it helps somebody else in the process.
So for people who know someone who's going through an issue where they have something like this, what are some of the things that we can do as friends to help make their life a little easier?
Yeah, I think one of the things that families with special needs need more than anything else is love and acceptance. And, they deal with so much rejection, whether it's, from society or whether they're shut in. They don't feel like they can even go to church because there's just not an accepting environment. And they deal with so many different types of rejection. So if the number one thing, if you could just be sensitive and have love and acceptance towards them and welcome them. They just want to be inclusive and involved and want to be accepted. So that's probably the first step. The next step, I think, is really, invite these families in to your life in some way, shape, or form. And this includes churches, that churches will begin to open up. And that's really what Champions Club helps churches do. It helps churches open up to families that are medically fragile or with special needs.
And let's talk about Champion Club. I'm looking on here. It says Champion Club, how the launch of a state-of-the-art facility for special needs kids led to a worldwide movement. So something that you guys did you're in Houston, is that right?
That's right.
And so from in Houston, something you guys did there in Houston has now expanded to all parts of the world. Is that kind of what you thought was going to happen when you started working on this?
No, we just thought we were going to reach out to the families, from our church. But I remember walking through our church and seeing the children's facilities, and God just stopped me and said, Craig, look at what you're doing for typical kids. He says, it looks like Disneyland, but look at what you're doing for special needs kids. And we weren't doing a whole lot that time, and God just spoke to me and said, Craig, those kids deserve the very best, just like every other child. And he said, when you look in these kids' eyes, he says, what you're looking at is you're looking at me, because when you do it on the least of these, you do it unto me. And so from that point, I wasn't sure what to do, but I pulled together some of the top researchers with autism and special needs, some of the top educators, and the most important special needs moms and dads, and we began to develop a holistic approach, mind, body, soul, and spirit, what will become the Champions Club. And so there's 4 stations. There's a physical therapy station, there's a sensory station, education station, and a spirit station. And when we launched our church, over 300 families started coming in the first 6 months just because of the Champions Club. And then from there, people started hearing about it. And now there are 60 Champions Clubs around the world, one on every continent. So, yeah, it's amazing what God will do when you'll just, be good to someone else.
That is really, really cool. Now, April is Autism Awareness Month. For people listening, is there something that we can do during this month to make a difference? And what would that be, and how can we make a difference in the lives of somebody who's touched by autism?
Yeah, I think a great thing that you can do, a lot of these families are feel like they're shut in. A lot of them aren't going to churches, and I would just encourage churches. 99%, I would estimate, don't have any type of program in their church for special needs. And I would encourage churches to open up your heart, and that's where Champions Club can help you. The other thing I would say is reach out to one of these families and that and say, hey, I just want to give you a respite for a couple hours. You got to realize for them, just to be able to go shopping or go out on a date, that's almost a miracle for them, because they are dealing with things 24/7 with their child. So a simple thing like a respite and helping these families out would be huge.
Again, our guest today, Craig Johnson. He's the Director of Ministries at Lakewood Church in Houston. Helped put together this program called the Champion Club, and he's the author of a new book, Champion, which just came out this month. It's available right now. Is that correct, Craig?
Yeah, it's available right now. That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for taking some time to visit. We're going to put a link to your book to make that really easy to find. And if people would be interested in bringing a Champion Club to their community, can they reach out to you as well for that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to championsclub.org.
I'll have all that info on our social media to make that really, really easy. Craig, thank you again, sir.
Thank you so much.
Again, our guest today has been Craig Johnson, and his new book, Champion, is out right now, and I'll have the info for the book and the info for Champions Club at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
An eagle can kill a young deer, and then carry it and fly off. That is crazy.
Eagles are amazing.
Eagles are amazing, but they can fly off carrying a small deer. That means they could absolutely carry a child.
Oh, for sure.
A child weighs less than a small deer.
Yeah.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
And this is kind of a long one here. It was discovered on a space mission that a frog can throw up.
But horses can't.
Frog vomits. No, you're right. The frog vomits its entire stomach out, so the organ is dangling out of its mouth. Then the frog uses its forearms to dig out all of the stomach contents, and then swallows the stomach back down again.
I'm so glad that's not the way we have to do it.
Yeah, you might just say, I'm not going to have another glass of wine. You sure? I'm quite positive. It looks good and all. I'm just thinking, those hangovers where my stomach flies out. It's not a good thing. So that would be bad. Oh, boy. This has been a couple of fun facts, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
It's time right now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and today's word is bardolatry. Bardolatry. What do you think bardolatry is, Heidi?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Have you ever heard bard, B-A-R-D?
No.
Okay, well, if you had heard that, you'd probably know, and there's at least somebody right now that's probably going, oh, it probably has something to do with Shakespeare, because he's known as the bard, B-A-R-D. Bardolatry, B-A-R-D-O-L-A-T-R-Y, bardolatry.
So he's speaking in a poetic manner?
It says it's a noun, and it's a humorous noun. Excessive admiration of Shakespeare, the Bard of Avon. And they have editor's note here, there's no such thing as an excessive admiration of Shakespeare. So apparently our grandiloquent word folk, they're fans of Shakespeare. They are bardolatrists. Yes, there's a huge case of bardolatry going on there. That is a fun word to say, bardolatry, but I don't think I'll say it. When would I ever get a chance to say that? If you happen to like Shakespeare, I want to meet you so I can say, oh, you're a bardolatrist. So.
I have no love for Shakespeare.
Do you retain any of these words? You keep
No.
I got a couple of them that I keep up there, but not many. All right. This has been your grandiloquent word of the day.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now some weird news this weekend, and it comes from across the pond in the United Kingdom, where 67-year-old Timothy Hill was sentenced to 8 months in prison for using a laser jamming device to avoid detection by speed cameras. Now, I've heard of people doing this, but this story is weird news because it goes on. He was caught by police after he raised his middle finger at the mobile speed camera.
Oh, I saw this.
On 3 separate occasions. Traffic Constable Andrew Forth said Hill made himself a target by repeatedly gesturing at the police camera vans with his middle finger while he was driving a very distinctive car. Police were able to detect the laser jammers on his white Range Rover, which had personalized license plates, making it really easy to track him down. Even if he didn't have personalized plates, they're the police. They can track you down. Police said when they spoke to him, he denied driving the car, claiming he was working 60 miles away. They said he tried to destroy the jamming device as well. He relented and admitted to speeding and to, the gestures. He threw the jamming device in the river in an attempt to destroy it.
Didn't he get like 5 years or something?
He pled guilty to perverting the course of justice and received 8 months in prison.
8 months.
Yeah, 8 months in prison for doing that. That's a bad plan. Just don't speed.
They made it sound online like it was only because he gestured to the cameras, but it was
all
because
of that.
he had that device
All
in
of
his
that.
vehicle.
Yeah, he did other stuff too. This has been some weird news, courtesy of 49bydesign.com. Time now for your moment of duh, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com. 19-year-old John L. Franklin of East Alton, Illinois, has been sentenced to prison after he told police he witnessed a robbery, but he didn't witness the robbery. He committed the robbery. Within an hour of the crime is when he told them. It occurred last August at Wood River Convenient Market. East Alton police said a person matching the description of the suspect was in the lobby to report a robbery. He told the police he witnessed a robbery. Officers arrived in the lobby and arrested him. Deputy Chief Dan Blunt said in August that Franklin must not have realized how good the surveillance video was in the store. When they searched his home, they found the clothing and the money and a weapon. Luckily, nobody was hurt during the robbery. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison. He went in thinking that I'm going to outsmart him. I won't be a suspect because I'm the guy that witnessed it. No, you walked in there looking exactly like you did 20 minutes ago when you robbed the place. He went home and changed his shirt, but they went to his house. They found the shirt, the gun, everything. That was just not smart. That's why this is today's Moment of Duh.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Time now for fake news or Florida. I don't know why I keep blocking this. Every time I do this,
I never look at your. I can't see that far anyway.
I move the piece of paper over here to cover the screen because I don't want her cheating. You were just like getting way too many right there for a while. So I was like, yeah, she's got to be cheating. She's not cheating. She's just really smart.
What have we got?
All right. Fake news or Florida, Heidi. A lawmaker introduced a bill that would legalize dwarf tossing in bars in the state of Florida. Is this fake news, did this really happen in Florida?
I'm going to hope this is Florida, because if it is, I want to go to that bar.
Oh, Heidi. It is true. Real news.
What's the bar? Does it say?
I have a link to this story if you want to read all about it. It's not a specific bar. This was a lawmaker trying to make it legal at all bars.
Did it pass?
I'm pretty sure it didn't. I've got a link to the story if you want to read it. I'm not even going to click on it, but it's in our show notes blog. I was trying to click on it, but I'm struggling to get my mouse to work here. My mouse has refused to work with you on this one. It is true. This is true. This really happened in Florida. And I do have a link to the story, the full story, at our John and Heidi Show blog, the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the good news, courtesy of Odiva. It's a monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All the details are at radiosavings.com. Here's a photo that hit the internet and has gone viral, and I think this is really a cool thing. And I got to tell you, when I was growing up, this would have been expected. But it's kind of turned into a thing where it became viral because it was amazing that kids cared. And there's part of me that says, well, isn't it weird that we, because they did the right thing, this became a story? A photo of some young athletes paying respect to a funeral is restoring people's faith in humanity. So there's some people that are really excited about the fact that there was a funeral procession going by and a group of basketball players stopped playing basketball and they kind of kneeled down as this procession went by. Did you see the photo
very
online?
Nice. Yeah.
There's the photo here. And
that's very sweet.
Yeah, I think it is. It's absolutely sweet. But as a child, I was taught to do this all the time. Mm-hmm. Even if we were riding our bicycles, if there was a funeral, and I lived up the street from a funeral home. Mm-hmm. If we were out in the front yard playing and we were doing something and a funeral stopped by, we would stop what we're doing and we would just kind of stand there and pay respect.
The respect just isn't there anymore for that sort of thing. Even driving cars.
I've seen
they
drivers.
used to always stop. Always stop.
I've seen an absolute disrespect lately.
I've seen people trying to get out and they're upset because there's a funeral procession going by and they squeeze their way into the funeral procession and they're driving along and they don't even belong there.
Be respectful, people. And here's the weird thing. I had a bizarre question on Facebook. It was not on our page. It was on a friend's page. She said, in all seriousness, I'm wondering if there's a bus on the side of the road with a stop sign arm out and an ambulance is coming by, does the ambulance have to stop for that sign or does the bus pull the arm back in? And that turned into quite the discussion. Somebody Googled it and got all the details. But then my question was, what if there's a funeral procession and there's an ambulance going by? Who pulls over? Because you're supposed to pull over for both of those. Does the funeral pull over for the guy that's still alive in the ambulance? Or does the ambulance pull over out of respect for the person in the funeral procession? Nobody really knew the answer. We said, we're getting off into the weeds here, John. Which my wife right now is like Googling something to see, apparently. But we don't know the answer to that. I do have a link to the good news, this story, on our show notes blog at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show.